What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I am currently on my way to the dealership to go pick up that T piece for the coolant system. So I'm almost there, and then I gotta run to work. I'm gonna pick up coolant during my lunch break so I can have everything ready for tonight. But I'll catch you guys at the dealership. Alright guys, so I got the T connector. So I got home from work. I didn't show you guys when I picked it up, but got the T connector. So I can go ahead and add it in. I know it might be hard to see, but it goes to here. This little one up here that goes to the reservoir bottle, and there's another one that goes down here to the metal pipe that I just have to re-angle. I think that's where the one is. Oh, it fell. That's why I can't figure out where it goes. Okay, so the other one fell. So I just got to reconnect it. It goes to the back of the thermostat housing. All of the other stuff on this side's tight. So once I get this in, I can climb under the car, get the axles in. I think it's gonna be my next step is gonna get the axles in, get the motor mount in, get the power steering fan in, and get this the cover shield, but that goes by the starter on. The other thing is Marcus is on his way, so he's gonna be the one supervising me tonight, because apparently if I'm not supervised, I don't get the work done. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this pipe connected before he shows up, so when he gets here, he can kind of help me with everything else and hang out. So I know he got off early today, so he doesn't really want to go home right now, like right away. So I think he's gonna help me out for a little bit. But mind you, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning right now after work. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm wrapping it up for the night. It's like 4:30 in the morning. Marcus is just taking off to go home. He's normally up this late. He normally doesn't get off work till from like 6 or 7 or something like that. But because of the whole virus thing going on, what he does is he normally fills stuff with, he does like diesel fuel and DEF fluid. And because they're not driving as much, because no one's coming in, because of everything, and they're staying home, there's not as much to fill. So he finished his job early, which is why he came to hang out and kind of help out a little bit. But more keep me company. But the intercooler's back on. Everything's ready to go. I'm gonna go show you guys a little bit of what's left. So far, we got pretty much the whole front end on. The only thing really left to go on is the bumper in the front. I got the bumper on the skid plate. That's just there. The oil pan's just there because I had the oil cooler in it. You need to throw the fender liners on. You need to throw the axle nuts on the axles. Which I may do tonight, but I'll probably do them tomorrow. I gotta torque them down once we set the car down. So the driver axle's in. I gotta tighten down the supports here, just because we have to, kind of align everything first. Fender liners are gonna have to go in, but I'm waiting to bleed the clutch for that, which is one of the few things I have to do. The passenger axle's in. Can't really see, it's a little more of a shadow over here, but that's in. I gotta get the bracket attached. So feels like one of the bolts are starting to cross thread. They're hard to get to, so I'm gonna reattack it tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it done. I need more brake fluid because the bottle is empty for the bleeder. If not, we would have done that tonight. So I've got no brake fluid to fill the clutch line with. So that's a big thing I have to go do. I have to buy all the clutch fluid. I have to buy brake fluid tomorrow, and I have to buy some coolant because I forgot to pick that up today. Other than that, really the only thing that needs to go on is the intake. And I'm waiting until everything's bled to do that. You might want to make sure the car starts. Intercooler's on. All the lines are connected. Connections are connected. I gotta do the power steering pump. Fan still needs to be connected, and the lower motor mount. But in order to do those, I have to do the transmission bracket. There's a yellow glowing light here, and that looks dirty. Other than that, we're looking pretty well put together. So there's a good chance I can be able to start this thing tomorrow. Alright guys, so we have acquired the coolant and brake fluid. Alright, now that we're back home, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on hopefully finishing this thing up. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up a time lapse, waiting for Iggy to come over. He's out eating with a bunch of his friends. He's gonna come help supervise today. So I got the bolts ready. I'm gonna try to put those in first, and then I'm gonna add coolant, hopefully that doesn't leak, and then bleed the clutch and try and at least get the thing started. And once I can get it started, I'll go ahead and button the rest of it up. But let's get to that. Alright guys, thought I would give you guys a little bit of an update. I've got coolant going into the system. I'm trying to let it air bleed on its own. I do have the bleeder valve open. However, it shouldn't be passing anything through because the car's not on. I am planning on bleeding the clutch soon. I do need one more person to do that, so I'm hoping Iggy comes over eventually. If not, I'm going to have to figure out something to do, because it does take 2 people still, or it's easier to do with 2 people, so I can open the bleeder valve and make sure the collection container doesn't knock over. Other than that, I'm going to put the axle nuts on right now. Struts are all tightened up. And on this side, if you can see anything, I've got the bracket for the transmission bolted up. I've got the power steering pump on. I've got the motor mount on. I've got the oil lines out of the way for the oil cooler. So pretty much everything on the passenger side's bolted up, ready to go, except for the axle nut, and I can put those on. I just can't torque them down until I put the wheels on and get the car back on the ground. The only thing missing on the driver's side currently that I'm aware of is the intake system, and that's only missing because, well, I'm using that to hold the bottle right now for the bleeding, and I want to make sure I have enough room to do everything. Alright guys, so I think I'm ready to try and start the car. The only thing I have left to do is to depress the pedal, pull the fluid up into the clutch pedal, and hopefully that'll be it. I've got the drain bucket underneath just in case what happens at the shop happens here, where when we started to put pressure on it, it just exploded. So I've got that so it doesn't make as much of a mess in the garage. I've got the clutch bled all hooked up right about there. So I got that done. I got the cap on. I got the sensor hooked up. I got the coolant cap on. No tools in the engine bay, as far as I'm aware. Doing one last quick check just to make sure. ECU's hooked up. All the wiring harnesses are hooked up. The only ones I think I have hanging right now are on my lights. So I don't see any other things that should be too much of an issue. Got fan relays hooked up. That on this side, I've got all the vacuum lines should be hooked up. Ground's hooked up. That's done. The 2 grounds are hooked up to the starter, which is the issue I've had in the past. So I want to say everything's ready to go as soon as I pull the clutch pedal up and get pressure in it. And then with any luck, I should be able to start the car. The car is on a battery jumper, so I'll have to turn that up, to a higher level so it'll start. But I'm going to go ahead and try to start this thing, so wish me luck. Compressors to kick. Huh. Yeah, I know it's blinking up here. Alright guys, so the car does run. Nothing smoking, or what's smoking? What is smoking? Oh. I don't know. Alright guys, we're gonna try it again. I don't know what, there's something smoking under the hood. Don't know what it is. But I've got no clutch pressure is my bigger problem right now. So I gotta build that up. Car starts right up. So it's a good thing. The bad part is I don't have any clutch pressure, so I really can't shift the gears. But now that I know it starts in gear, or it starts without being in gear, looks like the smoke's gone away. Could have just been some residue. You used to be able to see it up there. Only see a little bit of it. Oh, I guess there's a lot more of it. Alright, a little bit of an update. So I've got the power bleeder back on the clutch reservoir, the brake reservoir. As you can tell, if it'll focus, there are air bubbles coming up. So what I did is I just repressed the pedal down, pressurized the system back up, and slowly started letting the clutch pedal back up. And as I did that, I noticed as I was letting it up, I realized there was some air coming through. So I've just got the clutch pedal locked down with one of my tripods. And I'm trying to build pressure. So I don't know if you can see it, but I've just got the tripod shoved under the pedal because it's got the crank on the neck, so I can, you know, use it to hold the pressure and stuff like that. So I pressurized it I pushed it all the way down, pressurized the bleeder. And then once I did that, I slowly started backing it off. So I'm pretty much just letting it get the bubbles out. My goal is, I'm gonna leave it here for a little bit. I'm gonna take a break and play with my dog and stuff. I mean, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I've been trying to get this out at 9 a.m. I have a guy coming over for me to do an air ride install on his BRZ. Jesse's gonna come by. He's got somewhere to be at 11, but he's be coming by afterwards to kind of help out. So I'm trying to get everything done, but pretty much just letting the air work its way out. And hopefully that's all it's going to be. The bonus is that the car does now allow you to try and start it in gear. The problem is without the clutch pressure, you can't put the throwout bearing, but instead of just clunking or clicking like it used to, you can tell that it's trying, it just can't grab the clutch and the flywheel. So I really think my clutch pressure currently is my only problem, hopefully. The smoke I think is just residue. I'm going to keep an eye on that when we do get it started, when I can get it in gear. But I'm pretty much just waiting for the pressure bleeder to get some air pockets out tonight. I'll probably just leave it all night and then try and start in the morning, or leave it for a couple hours and then come back out and try to just start it, see if it'll go back into gear. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now. So I want to go ahead and say, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming out and you guys want to be able to see it. So I'll see you guys in the next one.